Hi, everybody. I'm Megan Powell from the Essex Bridge Center, and today's lesson is the third lesson in our Beginner 1 series. The topic is the 5-3 major suit fit, and combined with that concept, we're going to talk about another concept in bridge called game. So we'll discuss what a game contract is, and we'll incorporate the 5-3 major suit fit into that. So let me share my screen with you. Let's begin. So the 5-3 major suit fit is our first foray into talking about the bidding area, but now we're adding some rules to that process. So I'm hoping you have your bidding ladder nearby. Remember, if you have our textbook, it's on the back page, or you might have a separate piece of paper with it on it, but it is on the very back of our Beginner 1 textbook. So let's get started, shall we? But before we talk about the new material, let's do a quick review of the last lesson. And the last lesson was called The Basics of Opening and Responding in the Auction. So this was lesson 2 in our textbook. And at the time we talked about this last time, we said that every bridge hand has two components, and it starts with the auction component, and then we move on to the play of the hand component. So the auction, what is that? The auction in bridge is where players vie against each other for the right to name a trump suit. A trump suit is a magical wildcard suit. And having a magical suit essentially on your side, a trump suit, will help your side win more tricks because a trump suit has special powers, right? The cards that are in the trump suit will beat every other card an opponent plays except a higher trump card. Now, when we finish the auction piece, we're going to move on to the play of the hand. And this is where the players then play, each player plays their cards, and in doing so, they're hoping to win tricks. Now, when you lead in a suit, the highest card of that suit wins the trick, unless somebody at the table plays a trump card, and then the trump card is going to win, okay? Now, when we do start leading suits in play of the hand, so on a specific trick, and somebody leads a suit, every other player at the table must follow suit. They must play the same suit, all right? If they have one, if they are void now in the suit, then they can play a trump card if there is a trump suit. Now, players are not required to play trump cards, but it's usually in their best, it's usually to their best effort that they do so, okay? All right, so that's the general concept. There's an auction, there's a play of the hand. But let's focus on the auction here. Last week, we talked about how to open the bidding in the auction, and there is a priority order. The very first thing you try to do is to open one of a major suit. That's opening one heart or one spade. And to do that, you have to have 12 to 20 high card points in your hand. Remember, we learned how to count aces, kings, queens, jacks. You have to have 12 to 20 high card points, and you have to have 5 or more cards in either hearts or spades. Now, remember, we said they did not have to have any honors. Does not have to have an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, or a 10. Any 5 cards. With 12 to 20 high card points and a 5 card or longer major suit, hearts or spades, you will open at the 1 level, 1 heart or 1 spade, depending on which suit has those 5 cards. Now, if you cannot make a 1 heart or 1 spade opening bid, maybe you don't have the 5 cards, but you do have at least 12 points in your hand, then you move down the priority list and try and open the second choice on the priority list. And this second choice is very, very specific. This is when you want to open one no trump. And if you look at your bidding ladder, you will see no trump is the top of every segment of that ladder. It is the top bid on the 1 level. When you open a one no trump opening bid, you are specifically telling your partner you have a very specific point range in your hand, 15, 16, or 17 high card points. You are also saying you do not have a 5-card suit. In fact, what you have is something called a balanced hand. And we worked with that a little bit in our last lesson. We'll come back to it a little bit in this lesson. Now, what if you do have 12 to 20 high card points, but you do not have a 5-card heart suit or a 5-card spade suit? And then you worked down the list to the second level and you said to yourself, let me see if I can open one no trump, but you don't have specifically 15, 16, or 17 high card points, or specifically a balanced hand. Well, if you're still holding 12 to 20 high card points, you absolutely will make an opening bid. But that opening bid now is the default. It is the bottom of the list. It is a minor suit, 1 diamond or 1 club. Now, you only have to have 3 cards in a minor suit to get the auction started. You don't necessarily want to stay in a minor suit as we continue through the auction, but it is a way to tell your own partner across the table that you have 12 to 20 high card points. And so maybe we can still find our way to a major suit. All right. Now, you're going to look over other information from last week to do the review. Look back through lesson 2 in your textbook. Make sure that you refamiliarize yourself with the concepts from lesson 2 before you continue now on this video, because now we're moving into the nitty-gritty of lesson 3 in your textbook. This lesson is called the 5-3 major suit fit. And then within that, we're talking about something called point ranges and game. All right, game contracts and the 5-3 major suit fit. Now, you and I are partners. We're seated across the table from each other. And I open the bidding. I open with 1 heart or 1 spade. I am telling you, partner, that I have between 12 to 20 high card points in my hand when I counted up my aces, kings, queens, jacks. And because I opened 1 heart or 1 spade, I have at least 5 cards in whichever of those major suits I've opened. So I have made an opening bid. Now you are my responder. Remember, we learned vocabulary terms in our previous lesson. You are my responder. You are the opener's partner. You look for 3 or more cards in my opening suit. So let's just say that I opened 1 heart. I am telling you I have at least 5 heart cards with my 12 to 20 high card points. You, responder, are looking for 3 heart cards in your hand. Why? Because that gets us to an 8-card major suit fit. Remember, we talked about the concept of fit last week. The idea is that we now have 8 cards together in this major suit. We dominate this major suit, hearts. The opponents have 5 cards split between their 2 hands in the heart suit. You and I hold 8 cards. We should turn this into our trump suit. We want to use this suit against the opponents. But responder, how high are you going to bid? And you are going to bid in my same opening suit, right? You are going to bid now in our fit. How do you know how high to bid? Well, let's start this conversation about understanding this with some context. And that context is in our discussion about game contracts. Look at the bidding ladder that you have with you. It's on the back of your textbook, or it might be a loose piece of paper, but it looks like a ladder, right? Starts at the bottom on the 1 level with 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 spade, and then it goes up to 1 no trump. And then the 2 level starts with clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades as you move upward on the ladder. When you're looking at the ladder, I want you to find the 4 level, because you'll start to see the words game contract on the bidding ladder piece of paper. A game contract is a level on that bidding ladder where the risk that you're taking in the auction is very high. But if you are choosing correctly, the rewards are going to be substantial, okay? The reward on a bridge hand is a score that you earn for your effort. When you bid and play a bridge hand, you're going to get a score at the end of it. Sorry, I'm making noise. You're going to get a score at the end of that bridge hand, and that score will identify how well you performed on that bridge hand. Now, the reward that you earn on any bridge hand is the score. And if you bid and play in a game contract, that score can be pretty high. At the end of every hand, you, the declarer, earn this numerical score for your effort, okay? And when you earn this numerical score, you're going to want to see a positive number. Have you seen the little box in the middle of your screen when we have played in our bridge playing software, which we've already done so far? And when you finish a hand, in the middle of your screen, you see a little box and it has either a positive number or a negative number in it. It might say positive 420. It might say positive 650. It might say minus 50 or minus 100. Have you seen that little box? That is the numerical score that you earn at the end of every hand, and it's based on how well you performed on that hand. Now, if you, as declarer, make your contract, that score can be very high, perhaps hundreds of positive points, and you always want positive points. But if you don't make your contract, if you don't take the number of tricks you're supposed to, your score is a negative number of some kind, okay? Now, bridge players want to become declarers to earn those positive scoring points, all right? And the best way to earn the highest positive scores are to bid and play in game contracts, all right? So when you look at the screen when we've been playing, it looks a little something like this, what you're seeing on your screen right now. Now, for instance, you have seen this sort of on the bridge screen in our playing area. If you look at my screen here, you'll notice you'll see this 2 and a spade icon. That tells you what the contract was that you were playing in. If you look at the upper right corner of your playing screen, you'll see something like this, NS, and then some number /8. That /8 are the number of tricks you must take in a 2-spade contract. Now, the number in front of that slash, in this case, the 10, tells you how many tricks you actually did take. You were supposed to take 8 tricks. Let's say you were north-south, and you were the declarer and 2 spades, right? You were supposed to take 8. That's the /8. That's how many tricks you need in a 2-spade contract. This is now telling you at the end of the hand that you took 10 tricks. Woo! You took 2 more tricks than you needed to make this contract. The score will be automatically calculated for you. You will not see a plus sign in front of it. It is assumed, but your score on this hand, because you were supposed to take 8 tricks in 2 spades and you took 10 tricks, your score is a positive 170. That's a nice score. First of all, it's well over 100, and it's a positive number. That's what you're looking for, okay? Right now, you only care that the score you earn is, in fact, a positive number. Don't worry yet about how high a number it is, really, okay? Now, major suits score best, that's hearts and spades, in game contracts. And that is why we've been saying for a couple of lessons now how much we love major suits, because we are looking for a nice high positive score, and it's the major suits, hearts and spades, that give us the best scores. And when we play a major suit in a game contract and make it, it's a beautifully high score. But now you need to know what the game contract levels are. Look at your bidding ladder and find the 4 level. In hearts and spades, the game contract is the 4 level, 4 hearts, 4 spades. How do you know that you're supposed to bid to the game level? Well, part of our conversation in this lesson will take us there, but we're starting out knowing that the partnership must have 25 points together to know they have enough points to go ahead and bid at the 4 level in hearts or spades. You also need to have an 8 card or longer fit in that major suit. So if you're thinking about bidding 4 hearts or 4 spades, game level in a major suit, your partnership needs to have 25 points together, and you need an 8 card or longer fit in either hearts or spades, right? When you do bid 4 hearts or 4 spades, you must take 10 total tricks, winning tricks out of 13. Now, how do we figure that out? You always have to take 6 winning tricks. We call that the book. And those 6 winning tricks do not have to be consecutive. You don't have to win them in a row. But the minute you have made 6 winning tricks, you can hold your head up high, because you don't even tip into a majority of winning tricks out of 13 cards until you reach a 7th trick, winning trick. So 6 winning tricks are the threshold for a majority. And we refer to that as the book. You got to win the book just to hold your head up. Now, how you know how many total tricks you must take is always based on book plus the number of your contract. If you're in 4 hearts, you add the 4 from the contract to the book, 6. 6 plus 4, and that equals 10 tricks. So in a 4 heart or 4 spade game contract, the declarer will have to take 10 out of 13 tricks to make the contract, to be successful. That's a big risk. You can only lose 3 tricks. But if you make it, if you bid it and make it, the reward you earn is hundreds of positive points as a score. Okay? So the game contract in major suits, 4 hearts, 4 spades. What about no trump? We started talking about this concept of no trump. That's when you don't identify a suit to be a trump suit on the hand you're going to play. You just don't have a suit that's long enough to identify as an 8 card fit. The game contract in no trump is not the 4 level. Look at the bidding ladder. It's actually below that. It's the 3 level. 3 no trump is the game level in no trump. Now, the partnership needs 25 points together, just like major suit game contracts. It's still 25 points together, but you will not have a trump suit on your side. You do not have that 8 card magical wild card suit. All you have at your disposal are high cards and long suits, and you've got to try and take tricks without a trump suit, just using your high cards and your long suits. Now, 3 no trump, the game contract in no trump, requires 9 tricks to be successful. How do I know that? Book, the first 6 winning tricks, plus 3, the number of your contract in 3 no trump. 6 plus 3 is 9. So a 3 no trump contract requires you to take 9 tricks to be successful. You have to take 9 out of 13, right? That is still a big risk. But if you make it, the reward is hundreds of extra points. Why is the game level 3 no trump and not 4 no trump? Well, since it's just a tiny smidge harder to make a game contract without the power of a trump suit on your side, we downgrade the game level in no trump by 1 little level. So when you use a trump suit in hearts or spades, yes, the game level is the 4 level. But if you're in a game contract and no trump without a trump suit on your side, it's just downgraded to the 3 level. 3 no trump gives you a fighting chance of taking the necessary tricks to make a game. Now, we don't talk a lot about minor suits. They do exist, right? Diamonds and clubs, right? If you look at your bidding ladder, you will see there is a game contract for each of diamonds and clubs. But it's the 5 level. Holy cow. All the way up the bidding ladder to the 5 level. The game contract in a minor suit is 5 diamonds or 5 clubs. Okay. Now, because this is higher on the bidding ladder, your partnership needs more points together. All right. 25 points is just not enough. You need to figure out that you have 28 or more points together. If you don't have 28 or more points together, you should not be playing in 5 diamonds or 5 clubs. You also need an 8-card fit in either diamonds or clubs. So you need a little more strength here to go all the way up to the 5 level. You still need that 8-card fit in a minor suit in this case, and you need 28 points together, all right? 5 clubs or 5 diamonds require you to take 11 tricks. That's book, the first 6 winning tricks, plus the number in the contract, 5 diamonds or 5 clubs. 6 plus 5 is 11. Wow. You need to take 11 tricks out of 13 tricks. I'm going to tell you that's not easy to do. It's really not. You can afford to lose just 2 and only 2 tricks as you're playing out the hand. This is an enormous risk, okay? But here's the thing. If you make it, the reward is actually not that good. And one of the reasons you hear us say that we don't like minor suits, right? We love major suits, hearts and spades. We even like 3 no trump. But how do we feel about minor suits? Puh. You know why? They don't score well. The scoring structure in duplicate bridge is set up in such a way that we reward highly major suit contracts. We reward pretty decently no trump contracts, but minor suit contracts, it doesn't get many points when you do well. It's part of what makes the game interesting, having you to take chances here and chances there and decisions here and decisions there. But deciding to play in a game in diamonds or clubs all the way up on the 5 level generally is not a great choice. It doesn't work out well a lot of the time. In fact, we usually say that if you decide you think you're going to play in 5 diamonds or 5 clubs, you really have to have at least 28 partnership points. You really have to have an 8-card fit in either that diamond or club suit, and you need a note from your mother because it's just ill-advised. We'll talk down the road about what other options you might have. If you're thinking, oh, the only place I should go is 5 diamonds or 5 clubs, I'm going to teach you to stop and check that impulse because there may be a couple of other options you could do instead and earn a better score, okay? So if our partnership meets the requirement to bid a game, we should go to a game level. We just should, because the positive scores at the end of the hand are that's the brass ring you are reaching for, okay? You want a good, high, positive score. Now, in addition to understanding this concept of game contracts, now we have to figure out how and when we bid these game contracts, right? How do we figure it out? Now, we keep saying we love major suits, and we even really like no trump contracts because, especially in game level, both of those score pretty well. But we love to play in major suit contracts, even at a non-game game level, because they still score well, even when we don't go all the way to game. The scoring structure is set up in such a way that major suits just earn better points. Now, we have lessons on understanding scoring, and there are a couple of videos I'm going to introduce you to help you understand scoring, but we're not quite there yet. I just want you to take in the scoring information I'm talking about at a very high level, contextual level, all right? You're going to have to trust me for a little bit, but I will teach you in black and white what you're looking at when you see scoring. So you're just going to have to trust me that major suit contracts at any level, hearts and spades, whether it's game or not, score pretty well, all right? So we're always looking for a major suit fit. And today we want to talk about something called the 5-3 major suit fit. What is that? Well, if I'm your partner across the table and I open on the 1 level with a 5-card major, I have opened 1 heart or 1 spade, I am showing you, partner, 5 or more cards in that major suit. Now, if you, responder, have 3 or more cards in my same major suit, we call that the 5-3 major suit fit. I have 5, you have 3, there's 8 cards. That's our fit, right? An 8-card fit. I start with 5, you know I have 5. When I open 1 heart or 1 spade, I must have 5 cards in that major suit. You, responder, need to have at least 3 cards. That gets us to an 8-card fit, right? All right, there's our 5-3 major suit fit. We are going to play in that major suit. When we find a heart fit or spades fit, wham, it's like glue. We're going nowhere else. That is the trump suit. That's the trump suit we're going to use on this hand because we hold a majority of cards in that suit. We dominate that suit if we have at least 8 cards in it. The opponents have 5 cards and they're split between 2 hands. We have many more cards in that suit than the opponents do. So let's turn that one into our magical trump card suit. All right. Now, as soon as the responder sees opener's bid, let's say 1 heart, the responder will look at his hand and say, well, I have 3 heart cards. And that's the moment a responder realizes the partnership has an 8-card fit together, right? That's the moment then responder stops and makes a full evaluation of his hand. If responder, as in addition, responder has looked at his hand, he said, well, I've got 3 heart cards for my partner's 1 heart opening. Great, we have a fit. Let me look at the whole of my hand and make sure I'm evaluating the entire thing fully. If a responder has short suits, now we're not talking about the trump suit, right? Let's say I've opened 1 heart. You have 3 or more heart cards. Boom, that's going to be our trump suit. You are now, responder, looking at the other 3 suits, spades, clubs, and diamonds. If you have any of those suits that are short, well, those short suits then are worth just a little bit extra in points. Why is that? Why do they get extra values? Because when you have, responder, suits that are short, you only have 1 card in it or 2 cards in it, or maybe you have no cards in a suit, you're missing a suit, you will be able to void yourself very early in those suits. What do I mean by that? Well, the opponents have more cards in those short, if you have a short suit, the opponents have more cards in that suit than you do, right? And you're going to have to follow suit once or twice, but then you're going to be out of that suit. Ooh, but the opponents will still have more cards in that suit. You're short, they're long. When you run out of cards in the suit, your partnership is going to be able to use your trump cards on that short suit, the suit that's now going to be voided, surprising the opponents because they still have to follow suit. And you're going to be able to win tricks with your extra trump cards. We love short suits. When we know we're going to play with a trump suit, we love other suits in our hand that are short. Because as soon as you know that we have a fit, you start looking at your hand. Do I have other suits that are nice and short where I can use my trump on it early? So as soon as a player knows there's an 8-card fit, that player is going to give the other suits, those other suits that might be short, extra values, right? Now, we call this distribution, all right? Let's say that I've opened 1 heart and you're my partner and you have 3 or more cards in the heart suit. Great. We now have an 8-card fit. Fantastic. You, responder, are going to look at the rest of your hand, the spades, the diamonds, the clubs, and you're going to see if you can figure out how to add distribution values for short suits. Here's how it works. If you are missing an entire suit, suppose you didn't even have a club suit. You're missing an entire suit. You have a void, let's say in the club suit. You could right now give yourself 3 more points. It's called adding distribution. You give yourself 3 more points to your hand already. Because if you're missing an entire suit and the opponents lead that suit, you know what we're going to do on that suit? We're going to use our magical trump suit, hearts, boom, win the trick. Even if they lead the ace of clubs. If we don't have any on one side of our table, right? If you're void, responder, we're going to be able to use the heart trump and win the trick because trump cards win tricks, even if they play the ace of clubs. So if you're missing an entire suit, you have a void, add 3 more points to your hand. If you have a singleton in one of those other suits, a single card, right? You're looking at your spade suit, your diamond suit, your club suit, because we have a heart fit. You add 2 points for any suits that have singletons. And if you have any suits that have doubletons, 2 cards in a suit, add 1 more point to your hand. So what you're doing is you are adding distributional points, distribution points. You'll see me abbreviate it to DIST, D-I-S-T. You're adding distribution points for your short suits that aren't trump suits, right? That isn't the trump suit. You're going to add your high card points to your distribution points, and you're going to come up with something called your total responding points, right? Now, this is when you are ready to make your very first bid, responder. You haven't said anything yet. I've opened 1 heart. You looked at your hand, saw that you had at least 3 heart cards, and you got to work adding distribution to your any short suits you have. You add your distribution to your high card points, and now you're ready to make your first responding bid. You're going to tell me how much help you can give me in my heart suit by telling me how many total responding points you have. If you have 6 to 9 total responding points, that's high cards and distribution, you have what we refer to as a minimum responding hand. If you have 10, 11, or 12 points now in your hand, because you've added high cards and distribution, you have a medium, or what we refer to as invitational responding hand. And if you have 13 points or more, you have a maximum or game-going responding hand. Now, what do these ranges actually mean? When I open 1 heart, how many points did I promise you? Remember? I have 12 to 20 high card points. Assume I have 12 points. All right, just assume I have 12 points. If I have 12 points and you have 13 points, responder, isn't that 25 points? Right? If I started the auction as the opener with 12 points and you, responder, have 13 or more points, we have 25 points. That's game in our shared heart suit with our fit. That's important. If you have 10 to 12 responding points, you have almost 25 points between us. You have almost game for me. And so that's why we like to refer to it as invitational. You have nearly enough responding points to help carry us to game. If you have 6 to 9 responding points, well, you only have a little bit of help for my 12 points. It's going to take a lot of points in my opening hand to get us to 25, right? So how does a responder with a fit, after adding distribution, after coming up with total responding points, how does responder use those ranges to decide how high to bid? So if you have 6 to 9 minimum responding points, partner, you should raise me 1 little level, a minimum raise. You will take me my 1 heart opening bid to 2 hearts. Notice on the bidding ladder, you're just going up 1 little level. Boom, 1 little level. Okay? You're telling me you have 6 to 9 total responding points. Now, if you have those 10 to 12 total responding points, remember we said that was the invitational / medium range responding hand? You should make what we like to refer to as a jump raise. But notice the numbers on the screen. If I've opened 1 heart, you are jumping to 3 hearts on the bidding ladder. Look at your bidding ladder. You're bypassing 2 hearts and going to 3 hearts. Whoa. Now think about it this way. 3 hearts or 3 spades is just 1 little bitty level below the game level of 4 hearts or 4 spades, isn't it? It's the level right below. Isn't that the same as saying it is almost game level? So when you, responder, have 10, 11, 12 points opposite my 12 opening points, you have almost enough points to take me to game. You have almost enough points for me, if I only have 12 points as an opener, for us to have 25 points. So your job is to tell me by bidding almost game. And you do that by bidding the level below game level in our heart fit. So 1 heart, 3 hearts, or 1 spade, 3 spades if our suit was spades. You're jumping to the 3 level, and that tells me, the opener, that you, responder, have 10, 11, 12 invitational points in addition to having at least 3 heart cards from my opening heart suit. Now, if you're sitting on 13 responding points, remember I started with 12. You know we have 25, and eventually we're going to get to 4 hearts, right? 1 heart, 4 hearts, right? So your first job as responder, when you know we have an 8-card fit, is to tell me what your point range is. Responder 6 to 9, 10 to 12, or 13 or more. So I'm going to look at a hand with you here. This hand is an extension of an example hand in your book. This is on page 19 in your textbook. Now, at the end of lesson 3 in your textbook, you have 8 different examples, and then I give you an answer page for those 8 examples. I'm not going to do those with you. I'm going to let you do those and send me questions if you have them. Instead, I want you to turn to page 19 in your textbook. At the top of page 19, I have 4 different examples where I only give you a little bit of information. I'm going to flesh out that information here on the screen. In the book, you don't have South's dealer hand. You don't have South's opening hand. I'm giving it to you here on my screen. So you're going to sort of want to check your work on page 19 against what we're doing here in this video on the screen. This is example 1, if you will, on those examples on the top of page 19. Now, I'm going to tell you, in the book, I've told you that South made a certain opening bid, but I want to give you the information behind it. So let's look at South's hand here. Your textbook only shows you North's responding hand on page 19. All right, but we're going to work through the entire auction with my information on this screen. So here we go. I'm going to tell you that South is the dealer. If you look at my screen, you can see South's hand. And by the way, every time you see a T in a hand, it stands for the number 10. And the reason we use a T is this. If I put a 1 and a 0 in this place up here, if you look at my screen where I'm highlighting, if I put a 1 and a 0 there, it would look like 1, 0, 8, 7, 4, 2. It would look like a 6-card suit when in fact you only have 5 cards. So we use the T so that we're not using 2 digits to take up the number 10. All right. Now, I've already told you in the book on page 19 for number 1 that South has made an opening bid. Let's use this information that I have on the screen to flesh it out. I'm showing you what South's hand is. All right. South is the dealer and speaks first in the auction. South has 12 to 20 high card points. In fact, I've counted the points for you to make your life just a smidge easier. And I'm telling you that South added up here has 19 high card points. So that's between 12 to 20. South also has a 5-card or longer major suit. So what is South's opening bid here? It's 1 heart, right? South is opening the longest, a 5-card or longer major suit showing 12 to 20 points. And your example number 1 on page 19 tells you that South has opened 1 heart. Well, this is just the fleshed out hand for you. So far, so good? Okay. Now, North is the responder. North, because South has made an opening bid, North is the opener's partner, the responder. North, you have at least 6 high card points. In fact, I counted the points up here for you. If you look on the screen, you have 7. North, if you have 6 or more high card points in your responding hand, you absolutely should respond with some kind of bid, something. Why? Why is that so important? Remember, I opened in South with 12 to 20 high card points, right? What if South has 20 points? If South is sitting on 20 high card points and North, you have at least 6 points, don't we have 25 points or more? Wouldn't that be a game? So the only way that South, the opener, is going to figure this out is if North bids something and the auction eventually goes back to South. So North, the minute you have 6 or more high card points in your responding hand, you are going to find a responding bid. Now we're starting off slowly. All right. Responder, you're going to bid something because you do have 6 or more high card points. Now, South has opened 1 heart. Look at your hand, North. You have at least 3-card heart support for South's at least 5 heart cards. You, North, know there is an 8-card heart fit. You know it right now. And because you know it right now, you know this is going to be the trump suit for the partnership. Your partnership is absolutely going to play in hearts, right? The first thing you do before you make any kind of bid is to see how much help, how much extra value your responding hand might hold. You are looking for distribution. You're looking for singletons, voids, or doubletons. Not in your heart suit, that's the trump suit. You're looking at the other 3 suits, spades, diamonds, and clubs. Now, here's your distribution chart for you, right? This is how much extra value you can add for certain shortness. If you look at your hand, North, you get to add 2 distribution points. Why? You get to add 1 point for the spade doubleton. There are only 2 cards in spades. You can add 1 point for the diamond doubleton. There are only 2 diamond cards. That means that since both of those suits are short, your partnership is going to be able to perhaps trump those suits early, surprising the opponents. That'll get you some extra value, extra winners, which will lead to extra higher points in the scoring. So you add distribution here, North. You add 2 distribution points to your 7 high card points. North, you now have a total of 9 responding points. If you go back and look at your chart for responder ranges, you'll see that North with 6 to 9 total responding points is considered a minimum responding point count. And that means North should raise the heart suit a minimum amount up the bidding ladder, the very next place that hearts can be bid. So what is North's first responding bid? If you're just going up the bidding ladder one little bit, it's 2 hearts, 2 hearts. All right, now responder has made a first bid. What if we extend the thinking on this hand? What if we determine what opener and responder would do next? Now, this is not on page 19 at the top of the page. We're going to do this together on this example. We've discussed game contracts already, right? Let's see if this hand can get to game. What does the opener figure out to do next? Opener, as soon as opener sees that responder has bid the exact same suit, opener now knows there's a fit. The minute any of the partners knows there is an 8-card or longer fit, that partner immediately adds distribution. And opener is going to add distribution the exact same way, adding 3 points for voids, 2 points for singletons, 1 point for doubletons. And that gives opener a specifically total opening point count. All right. Distribution is only added the second you know there's an 8-card fit, whether it's a major suit fit or a minor suit fit. So opener, you have to put on your thinking cap. What does responder's bid mean? You just looked at responder's bid. If responder has raised to 2 hearts or 2 spades, responder is showing 6 to 9 total responding points. If responder jumped up to 3 hearts or 3 spades, responder is showing an invitational, almost game-going points of 10 to 12. If responder went all the way to 4 hearts or 4 spades, responder's already telling you, hey, look, we've got game. I have 13 responding points. So you're going to have to memorize these ranges, right? These are the responder ranges, how a responder bids when finding a fit. Yes, you're going to have to memorize these. Sorry. These are called responder ranges, and they're based on high card points and distribution if applicable. All right, opener. So you have added your total points and you're thinking about it in terms of what responder has told you. Now, there's going to be a little more detail to this as we go into coming weeks in class. But for now, you have to think about, what does responder's bid mean? What point range is responder offering me? When responder bids 2 hearts as a first response, it's not saying, hey, I've got X number of points. It's saying I have X to X points. It's talking about a range from a bottom to a top. So it's not just a single point in responder's hand. So opener has to consider if 25 points are possible based on responder's ranges, and openers' points. So here's your general rule of thumb. All right. How does an opener know what to do next? Opener, you've taken your total opening points. You've considered what does responder's bid mean in terms of a range of points. Can we absolutely get to 25? Can we get to 25 points together? Absolutely, even if responder is at the bottom of the range. What do I mean by that? Well, if you've opened one heart and responder has raised to 2 hearts, responder is showing 6 to 9 total responding points. If responder has only 6 points in the 6 to 9 points, opener, when you add that to your opening points, can you get to 25? If even responder's minimum-ish points in the range can get you to 25, let's go to game. Bid 4 hearts or 4 spades. Do it. You know you have 25 points. If, however, you add your opening points with distribution to responder's range of points, and you can figure out it never is going to get you to 25, you're going to pass right where you are and not go higher. So what do I mean by that? So if I open 1 heart and you have responded 2 hearts, I know you are 6 to 9 responding points. Well, let's see. If you're at the highest end of your range, 9 points, and I add that to my opening points, and that can't get me to 25. If that does not get me to 25, we don't have it. Because you're at the, if I even take in your top of your responder range, and that can't add up to 25 with my opening points, well, then we don't have 25 points. Pass. What if it's a maybe? What if, I don't know, maybe if responder is 7 or 8, not just 6 or 9, then opener will bid on the invitational 3 level. And we're going to do more of that in a couple of weeks when we talk about a lesson on 4-4 major suit fits. Let's talk about this in kind of a bare bones way first. Let's go back to the example hand we were working with. Now remember, the most basic version of this is on page 19 at the top of your page, example 1, but we fleshed it out. I'm giving you opener's actual hand here, all right, even though North's responding hand is listed in your book. So we've already concluded that opener had 12 to 20 points in a 5-card major, opened 1 heart. North said, hey, I have at least 3 heart cards. There's a heart fit. I'm going to add distribution as responder. North added 2 distribution points, came up with 9 total responding points, minimum 6 to 9 points, and that's why responder has raised to 2 hearts. But now the auction comes back to South's opening hand. This is the minute that South knows there's a heart fit, the minute she sees responder's bid. So South, because you now know there's a fit, you now add distribution. Here's your chart, right? You're adding distribution, voids, singletons, doubletons. South, you have a club doubleton, so you add 1 distribution point to your high card points. And now your 19 high card points plus 1 distribution point equal 20 opening points in your hand, right? Well, you already know that North has promised 6 to 9 responding points. Even if North has just 6 responding points in that range to go with your 20, isn't that at least 25? It absolutely is. South, your opening hand knows right now your partnership has a heart fit and has game going 25 or more points. South is the one who knows it right now. And what we like to say is the one who knows goes. South, your job is to bid bravely, game 4 hearts. You're the one who knows that there is 25 points because you did the math. Oh, I'm so sorry to use that word, but I have to say it again. Yes, math. There it is. Okay. The auction's going to end here because we've reached game. And a lot of auctions end in game. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is continue looking at the examples on the top of page 19. You're given the responder's hand on the top of page 19, not the opener's hand. I will give you the fleshed out version on each hand. And I'm going to walk through these hands just a smidge faster now. Let's see the other three hands on the top of page 19 and see how we do. You ready? Let's go look at example 2. If you look at this north hand, you'll see that that's the layout that you have on the top of page 19 for example 2. Those are the cards for the responding hand. I am giving you, you don't have it on the page, I am fleshing out and handing you on the screen the opener's hand. So let's look at this hand. South is our dealer. South has 12 to 20 high card points. I even counted it for you. South has a 5 card or longer major suit. So what is South's opening bid? We always open 5 card majors first, 1 spade. And in fact, if you look at the top of page 19, example 2, it'll tell you that South has opened 1 spade. Well, this is why. Okay. Now, North, we come to you in the auction. You are the partner to the opener. You are the responder. All right. You look at your hand and say, well, my partner opened 1 spade. Do I have support? What you need is 3. You need to have 3 or more spade cards to go with South's 5 or more spade cards. And you have that, North, right? You know right now, North, you have a spade fit. Yay. You look to add distribution for the non-spade suits, hearts, diamonds, clubs. You're looking for singletons, voids, or doubletons, but you don't have any of those. So you're not going to add any distributional values. You're just going to go along with your 11 high card points. Now, when you think about what kind of responder you are in terms of your point range, you are a 10 to 12 medium / invitational responding point hand. Remember, we said that when you hold a medium / invitational responding hand, every time we use that word invitational, it means that you should bid 1 level below game level because you have almost enough responding points to take South maybe only 12 out of 12 to 20 points to 25. You don't have quite enough for 25. You have almost. So you're going to bid almost game. So when you are a 10 to 12 invitational responding point hand, you should bid at the invitational level, and that's 1 level below game, right? You should invite. What you're basically saying by jumping to 3 hearts here, responder, is, hey, opener, I have 10, 11, or 12 points. Do you think we should continue to 4 spades? I'm inviting you to consider it. Now the auction goes back to South's opening hand. South knows right now there's a spade fit because responder's hand in North bid spades. So this is the moment that South knows there's a fit. South looks for distribution and adds 1 distribution point for South's club doubleton. And now South's opening point count hand, high card points plus distribution, equal 13 opening points. Says South. Wonder if I should do this. North is promising 10, 11, or 12 responding points. North has invited South to continue to go to 4 spades. Should South accept the invitation and bid 4 spades? Well, here's what South has to be thinking. North has 10, has 11, or has 12 responding points, and South does not know which, right? South has 13 total opening points. If North is holding 10 points, then that only gets them to 23. There is no game. If North has 11 points, that gets them to 24. That is not game. This is not horseshoes, not close enough. If North is holding the upper end of 10 to 12, then yes, North's 12 responding points and South's 13 total opening points, would make game. Well, here's the problem. The partnership has game only if North has the upper end of 12 responding points. And South, you really should assume that North probably has either 10 or 11 points and not 12 points. Why? Well, in a very general, not truly mathematic consideration, look at it this way. It's a 1 in 3 chance that North has 12 points. It's a 2 out of 3 chance that North doesn't. So you should err on the side of caution here. Assume that North has 10 or 11 points. Therefore, South, assume there is no path to 25 points. You don't truly have it. And so if I were South, I would pass. I would not accept the invitation and go to four spades. I would play this contract not in a game contract. Because remember, while yes, you always want to play in game when you can, it's because you have the goods. You have 25 points or more in addition to your 8-card fit. It's a huge risk. You want a positive score. If you go to four spades here and you cannot make four spades, you're going to get a negative score. And we do not want negative scores. We want positive scores. But if you stay at three spades and you make three spades, well, then you will get a positive score. So that's the way to look at it. Let's go to look at example 3. Again, I'm going to give you South's opening hand. You have North's responding hand on example 3 laid out for you. But I'm going to tell you that South is our dealer. South has 12 to 20 high card points and a 5-card major. What is South's opening bid here? Should be 1 heart, right? And if you look at example 3, it tells you South opens 1 heart. So far, so good. So now the auction moves to North's responding hand. North, you look at your hand, you say, wow, I in fact have at least 3 heart cards to go with South's 5-card heart suit. We have an 8-card major suit fit. It's going to be our trump suit, right? North, you get to add distribution right now. You, North, have a void in spades. That's exciting, isn't it? That means that if the opponents lead spades, you can trump at any time you want. You're going to surprise them. So you add 3 points for a void. Now that means that your 8 high card point responding hand is now worth 11 total responding points with high cards and distribution. That makes you, North, 11 with 11 total responding points. You are an invitational / medium responding hand. And that means you should bid on the invitational level in the heart fit. What's the invitational level? It's 1 level below game, 3 hearts. You're jumping all the way to 3 hearts, telling South's opening hand, yes, we have a heart fit, and I have 10, 11, or 12 responding points. Now the auction goes back to South's opening hand. South, this is the moment you know there's a heart fit. You, South, start thinking about adding distribution, and you get to add 1 point for distribution for your diamond doubleton. And now, South, you're 16. I added that wrong, didn't I? You're 16. Sorry. Oh, my. Let me do that again. Sorry. Okay. You're 16 total. Did I add it wrong? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No. Your 16 opening points. Whoops. Let's do it this way. Sorry. Here we go. South is adding 1 distribution point for the diamond doubleton. Right. So far, that's good. But I have the wrong number down here. South's hand reevaluates to 17 opening points, not 18. I'm so sorry about that. 17 opening points. Well, here's what you got to think, South. If you have 17, no, I can't fix it at the moment. Sorry. 17 opening points, and North has promised you 10, 11, 12 responding points. Here's that dreaded word again. You ready? Math. Sorry. I'm so sorry. North has 10 to 12 responding points. South has 17 opening points. Can you reach 25 points? Oh, yes, you can. Absolutely. The one who knows goes. South's second bid should be 4 hearts. Okay, that's example 3. And in fact, it says you go to 4 hearts. That it says in your book that North, this is North hand with a void. So this is why you got to add distribution on North's hand. 3 whole points for a void. All right, let's do one last extension. This is example 4 on page 9, top of page 19. Again, you don't have the whole thing. We're extending it here together. I am giving you the South hand, the opening hand that you don't have on the top of page 19. All right. So this is example 4, and I'm telling you that South is the dealer. South has 12 to 20 high card points. South has a 5-card or longer major. What's South's opening bid? I would open 1 spade. So far, so good? All right. And that's what example 4 says in your book, that South opened 1 spade. North is the responder. North, you look at your hand, you have at least 3 spade cards to go with South's at least 5 spade cards. You know right now there's an 8 card at least spade fit. This is going to be our trump suit. So let's think about adding distribution, North. You add 1 distribution point for the heart doubleton. And now, North, your 6 high card points, when you add a point, reevaluate to total 7 responding points. You are a minimum responding hand with between 6 to 9 points, right? You should raise South's spade suit, since you have a fit, a minimum amount. So North, what is your responding bid here? It's 2 spades. And that's what it says on the top of page 4 for this hand, example 4. But now we're going to extend the thinking, and it's not on page 19. We're going to go back to South's hand, which I'm showing you on the screen. Let's add some distribution. South, you know there's a spade fit because North has bid spades. You get to add distribution now. You add 1 distribution point for the club doubleton. Now you have 19 total opening points. If you have 19 total opening points, South, and North has promised you 6 to 9 points, even if North has just 6 points to go with your 19, yes, there is the word again, math. Doesn't that get you to 25 points? I believe it does, right? South, the one who knows, goes. On this hand, I would go to 4 spades. So we used the 4 little example hands that started out just with context on the top of page 19 in your textbook. And here together on this screen, we fleshed them out. We walked through a process together, okay? So while none of those examples were truly on the top of page 19, we took the kernel of it, where you practiced the beginning of it, and then we spread it out together here. Let's look at one more thing before we wrap up. We still want to talk about game, but let's take a sidestep from the 5-3 major suit fit and just come back around to the concept of opening 1 no trump. We learned that, right? How to open 1 no trump. Let's take a look at just a couple of more examples for the practice of thinking about game. Let's see if we can think about it without a 5-3 major suit fit. This is not in your book. This is just the 2 of us doing this together on the screen. Take a look at this hand where I'm telling you that South is our dealer. South has 12 to 20 high card points, right? I'm telling you South has 17 right here. South does not have a 5-card major. True? Well, yeah, true. Not here. South, I wonder what we should do next, right? If we don't have a 5-card major, on the priority list of opening, we should move down to number 2. Number 2 is what to do when you do not open a major suit. Well, if you don't have 5 cards in hearts or spades, you're not going to open 1 heart or 1 spade. So when you move down to number 2 on the priority list, that choice is opening 1 no trump, but it has very, very specific parameters. First of all, you must have 15 to 17 high card points. Well, you've got 17 high card points. Check. You also must have a balanced hand. Well, what does that mean? First of all, it means you do not have a 5-card major. Well, we looked for that already. Check. It means you do not have any voids or singletons in your hand, South. Well, let's look at that. Nope, I don't see any suits that have only 1 card in it. That would be a singleton. I don't see any missing suits. That would be a void. So no voids, no singletons. Check. You are allowed to have a doubleton, but only 1 if you do have 1. You don't have to have a doubleton. Check. You don't even have any doubletons. You don't have to. You have what's called a 4-3-3-3 shape. 4 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards. That's one of the 3 balanced shapes in bridge. Does not matter which suit has the 4 cards. So I think you have a 1 no trump opening hand. So far, so good? Now, North, we come to you. You are the responder to the opener. But South did not bid a suit, right? South didn't bid a suit. Therefore, North, you are not going to consider anything now. When South opens one no trump, the only decision that we're going to make at this point is whether to go to game in no trump. We are not going to consider, North, in your responding hand, anything to do with a suit, at least not for now. All right. Down the road, we will discuss whether or not a responder should think about a suit after partner opens one no trump, but not yet. All right. The only decision, North, your responding hand has to consider is whether or not the partnership can reach game in no trump. Now, North, you hold 11 high card points. You are not adding any distribution. There is no 8-card known fit. You have 11 high card points, and you know South must have 15, 16, or 17 high card points when she opened one no trump. North, you know the partnership has 25 points. The game level in no trump is the 3 level, 3 no trump. North, your responding hand should make a first response in 3 no trump. The one who knows goes. And this is where the partnership is going to play. We've gotten to game in no trump. Okay. Let's look at one more hand, still not in the book. South, I'm making you the dealer, and I'm telling you that you've got 16 points. I've counted them up for you. So South does fall between 12 to 20 high card points, right? South does not have a 5-card major suit, does not have 5 hearts, does not have 5 spades. So it's not going to open 1 heart or 1 spade. South moves down the priority list for openings to choice 2. Does South meet the requirements to open one no trump, which is choice 2? Well, South does have this 15, 16, or 17 high card points right here. South, do you have a balanced hand? I believe you do. You don't have a 5-card major, right? You have no voids. You have no singletons. You are allowed to have 1 doubleton, and in fact, you have 1 in the heart suit. You have one of the 3 balanced shapes to open one no trump, and it is the shape everybody forgets. It is a 5-card minor suit, clubs or diamonds. Then 3, 3, 2. That is one of the 3 balanced shapes to open one no trump if you're holding 15, 16, or 17 high card points. If I'm South, I'm absolutely opening one no trump. So far, so good. Now we go to North, who is the responder. So North, let's think about this, North. Your partner opened one no trump. The only decision that you're going to make here and consider, responder, is whether or not you have game. That's what we're going to consider for now. You are not thinking about suits at all. Not yet. Not till we get to that lesson. North, your hand would have to have at least 10 high card points. Remember, there's no distribution when there's no known 8-card fit. You would have to have 10 high card points to go with South's 15 to 17 high card points in order for you to get to 25 points together. North, do you have 10 or more points in your hand? No, you don't have game going 10 points as responder. So you should pass. Without 10 points, responder, you do not have a game. And for right now, you are going to pass and we'll play in one no trump. So that's just a reminder, those 2 hands, of how to play in no trump. So let's bring this around. First of all, game contracts. We love games. They score so well in bridge. But you need the goods to go all the way up to game level in whatever you're going to play, because you're taking a big risk to earn that big reward. You really have to have the goods. If you want to play in a game in hearts or spades, it's the 4 level. Your partnership has to have 25 points between the 2 players with an 8-card heart fit or spade fit, and then you're going to have to take 10 tricks to make the contract. If you don't have a major suit fit, you could consider playing at 3 no trump. That's the game contract in no trump. You still need 25 partnership points together. You have to take 9 tricks to make your contract, and you don't have a trump suit on your side. If You're thinking about playing in a minor suit game, it's all the way up to the 5 level, 5 diamonds or 5 clubs. Your partnership needs 28 points together, more points now. You have to take 11 out of 13 tricks. And boy, we often try to find some other way to play a minor suit contract that has that many points and earn a good score, but that'll come down the road. One no trump is not a suit opener, but we are reminding ourselves today about game contracts. And if your partner opens one no trump with 15, 16, 17 points, and you responder at 10 points, that's 25, bid 3 no trump. If you don't have 10 high card points responder, you're going to pass and let your partner play in one no trump. Now, the 5-3 fit. This is how we decide whether or not we're going to get a game or not, how to know how high to bid. If I'm your partner and I open one heart or one spade, I have 12 to 20 high card points. I have 5 or more cards in my major suit. You, responder, need 3 cards in the same major. If you have that, you immediately add distribution points for short suits, voids, singletons, doubletons. Add those distribution points to your high card points. You end up with total responding points. And then you're going to make your first responding bid. If you have 6 to 9 minimum total responding points, you raise to 2 hearts or 2 spades, a minimum amount. If you have 10 to 12 invitational responding points, you raise to the 3 level, 1 level below game, to show your invitational almost enough points for my 12 to 20. If you have 13 or more responding points, then go ahead and bid the game 4 level as your first response. Now, what is the opener going to do next? Well, opener has to decide whether to continue bidding in the suit. And that's going to be based on understanding responders' ranges. Yes, you have to memorize them. Opener, you're going to add distribution to your hand the minute you know there's a fit, the same way, right? Voids, singletons, and doubletons. Then you're going to make a second bid responder. We call it a rebid, based on whether or not you think you can get to game. You add your opening points to the range that responder's promising you. Are there definitely 25 points? Fine, go to game in your major suit. Are there definitely not 25 points? No matter how you look at it, pass. Play in whatever level responder bid. If there might be 25 points, depending on where responder is in the range she has shown you, then go ahead and bump up one more. Bid the 3 level if you're not already there, and invite your partner to game. So boy, there's a lot of information here, right? One last piece. The opponents are not bidding. We've said this in the last lesson as well. The opponents are not bidding. The minute somebody makes an opening bid at the table on a hand, it is going to be an auction that takes place between that opening player and that person's partner, the responder. The opponents on that particular hand will pass. They will not have something to say. The auction will take place between an opener and responder, but don't worry, because the next hand, it's going to be you and your partner. We take turns. So, a lot of information, right? Take a look at lesson 3 in your textbook. See how you can work through the rest of the hands together. Know that you can always send me emails. I am here to answer emails even before class if you have them. After class, after we do this together in class, go ahead and go through the lesson again and then send me questions at that time. Otherwise, I will see you when we get to class, all right? Take care. I'll see you then.